All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the GnosisDAO community call for the month of August. Can you hear me okay? Okay, cool. Today is August 22nd, and yeah, this is the August community call. A little housekeeping. We're going to go over events, governance updates. Oh, actually, this slide is wrong. We'll do ecosystem updates, but we'll be joined by the Gnosis AI team. We had Shutter on last month, so that's my bad. But first, I'm going to hand it over to Carolina, who's going to run through some updates about events. Hey, Carolina.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I hope you can hear me well. Thanks for having me again, John. I know I didn't add this information in these slides, but I wanted to talk about dev conflicts. This will be a forum in a neutral space where the main opponents of current blockchain conflicts can discuss solutions. This event will be happening on the 9th and 10th of November, just before DevCon. And just a few insights. The venue is amazing. We'll have 6 matchups. We'll have the topics decided until the end of this month. And the audience will be able to vote both in person and remotely. We are still looking for speakers and sponsors. So if you're interested or have any suggestions, feel free to contact us at info@devconflict.com. And obviously, for more details, visit us at www.devconflict.com. And last but not least, in the upcoming weeks, we'll be at ETH Accra, with the Circles team sponsoring and hosting a workshop, plus a special campaign to give away a DApp node and 4GNO. And later on in September, we'll also be in Singapore at the Home Staking Summit with the Obol team, at Token 2049 with Gnosis Pay. So feel free to visit us at the booth. And to complete our days in Singapore at ETH Global Singapore with Gnosis Chain, featuring collaborative bounties with Dapnode and Shutter. And just to wrap up, at the end of the month, we'll also be at Mainnet with the Metric team from September 30th to October 2nd. And again, feel free to visit us at our booth and join us at our Crypto Convene Center. And that's it. Thank you, John.
Cool. Thank you, Carolina. And Dev Conflict is a pretty unique format, right? It's two people who are faced off where they debate a really hot topic in Web3, and then people will have the chance to vote on who they think is the winner of that conversation or that debate. So definitely check it out. We'll share more information on our social media, and yeah, please join us. Thank you, Carolina.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have some updates on the governance side of things. Right now, we have a redo of GIP 110. Should the GnosisDAO create and fund a Gnosis Pay rewards program with 10K GNO? This was redone because we had some problems with our snapshot instance. Mateus is on the call. He can talk more about that, but yeah, please just be aware that it's a redo, and please vote on this important proposal. Also, the GnosisDAO delegate program is not live yet because we are not able to update our snapshot instance without a DAO vote. And in order to elect the delegates, we need ranked choice voting on our snapshot. So that is a blocker for us right now, but we're working on it. And let's see if Coltron is on the call. I don't think so. Maybe he'll join us a little bit later. He's heading up the delegate program with Stable Labs. But yeah, just please be aware that there's a pause in that program, but we're working on it. All right, moving right along, we're going to jump into Gnosis ecosystem updates, and Jorge's with us to run through an update about SAFE. So let me bring Jorge up to the stage. Hey, Jorge, go for it.
Hey, John. Thanks for having us. A few updates from the safe side for the month. We crossed the 10 million safe smart accounts created milestone. So thanks everybody for setting up your Gnosis Pay accounts, everything else is connected to the safe ecosystem. Like thanks everybody for being a huge part of our journey. And also just in terms of usage metrics, all the monthly average users or monthly average accounts being active on safe accounts continues to grow. So we've had some nice features in the recent Masari report. And if you go to the next page, we have a few interesting launches. So our Safe Pass program keeps going. So this is an opportunity for you to earn some safe rewards on top of interacting with interesting protocols and apps. So right now we're live with Rainbow Wallet, and coming up next we have DeFi Saver. So DeFi Saver, and I know a lot of Gnosis folks are fans. So if you're already a user, use this program as a way to kind of boost your rewards on both ends. We also launched our gas station program, so in collaboration with Gnosis Chain, Polygon, Pimlico. We have some great partners. This is our way to help people build gasless experiences for their users. So if you're a builder or know of any builders that want to get some free gas sponsored, go to this page and submit your application to be included in the program. And finally, we just announced Safe Foundry, which is our stab at kind of promoting all the different research that's going into improving chain abstraction. So there are some proof of concepts that have been built that are showcased on the site. And as time goes on, we'll be publishing some more research, some more experiments, launches, and more to promote the chain abstraction narrative. So I didn't put links in here because it's kind of hard to click from a presentation if you don't have access to it. So this is all live on our Twitter. So the last few tweets kind of cover all of these main points. And also stay tuned for some more on upcoming events. We'll be at Token 2049, Korea Blockchain Week, DevCon later in the year. We'll put out a tweet in the next couple of days highlighting all the different places you can come hang out with us in the end of the year. So yeah, with that, thanks, John. Stay tuned to our Twitter at Safe, and looking forward. Thanks, everyone.
Cool. Thank you, Jorge. And if you're a subscriber of the Gnosis Chain Weekly Recap, we have all that info that Jorge was referencing about the gas station on the newsletter. So you can just click the link there. All right. Next up, we have an update from the Gnosis Pay team, and Mateus is on the call. Hey, Mateus.
Hey, John. Thank you so much. If you can pass for the next one. Yeah, so like talking a little bit about numbers, it's interesting this is not necessarily there, but just to let you guys know, we have seen like an increase quite big in terms of international payments this last month. It's due to the holidays and people traveling and so on, which is quite nice to see because it's one of the biggest advantages of our product today. And also it means bigger revenues for Gnosis Pay in terms of interchange. We also are looking to some nice numbers in terms of cards in the last weeks, but in general we are going a little bit stable in terms of volumes. We have been focusing now in actually getting some new features out, and once we do, those will most likely increase quite a bit the numbers. So talking about that, if we can go to the next slide. One of the things that I mentioned on the last call is that we were working on doing new options for QAC, and for that we're implementing some sub as well, which is a different provider, which we believe that it's the de facto market leader for this, and it's have a lot of functionalities that will make the experience for the onboarding way simpler. So we're gonna launch that. One thing that we also did in the last weeks that got a lot of traction maybe some of you are there already, is like we created a Discord group with OG NFT holders for them to be in the beta test group, because we have a few new features that are coming live and we want to test out with our users. So the first one that's going out is an IBAN, where you're going to be able to have an IBAN linked directly to your card. And we are also, once you onboard with GnosisPay, you're going to get the IBAN directly without the need of onboarding with anyone else, which should provide quite a nice feature. As John mentioned before, we are also looking forward for the rewards, and there's the GP like 110, which was resubmitted, and it was resubmitted because there was like not a clear communication about it, so it was not published like for everyone to see it. People were like on holidays and so on, so there was a lot of traction, but like not a lot of people saw it. And we didn't see people actually voting against it. It was just that we didn't reach quorum. So we are just talking more about it and putting it again. And once this is live, this is quite a nice feature as well, because it will implement a cashback program for GnosisPay. I got another good news is that we are going faster in terms of Google Pay and Apple Pay than we expected. The first one to come live is going to be Google Pay, which should be coming live in the month of September, and Apple Pay should be coming in October. Lastly, we are also looking forward to have the new countries going live. We're just waiting for one final thing with Visa, but it should also be going well to be live in September. We'll keep you guys updated, but it will mean that like we have some new usage, especially like for countries such as Brazil, and over there it's going to be used at USD, which is quite a nice feature as well. So we're looking forward. There's quite a few things coming up, which should enhance quite a bit the product.
Cool. Thank you so much, Mateus. And moving along here, we have an update from Metri, and Daniel is on the call. Let me just manage the call here and bring Daniel up to the stage. Hey, Daniel.
Hey, do you hear me?
Yep.
Great, thanks, John. Yes, so update from Metri. So last time I was on in June, I kind of gave an introduction to Metri and our mission, and what we're trying to accomplish. So hopefully you're a little bit up to speed on that. And this time I was going to talk about what we're building and what's on our roadmap right now. So our top priorities. And I think it's very fair to say that Gnosis Pay is very close to Metri and will definitely have a very prominent place in Metri going forwards. So this is something that we're working on quite a lot right now. So improving the integration with Gnosis Pay to really give this mobile-first UI to all Gnosis Pay users. So we are implementing support for the Gnosis Pay rewards program, including cashbacks, which will be part of Gnosis Pay pretty soon. And we will also enable users to add Metri as an account owner of your Gnosis Pay account. And this enables us to actually integrate further with Gnosis Pay and have an authenticate to Gnosis Pay and be able to show more data than what we can do today, because right now it's on-chain data, so we can't really do everything that is done in the Gnosis Pay web app. But with this setup where the Metri wallet is the account owner, we can actually authenticate and fetch more data. So a lot of new functionality can be included in Metri when we have this setup in place. And for example, Monerium is one of those. So with a Monerium account on the back of Gnosis Pay, and this integration, you will be able to use on and off ramp for Monerium directly within the Metri app. So a lot of exciting functionality related to Gnosis Space coming up. Then we're also working on circles and supporting the V2 of circles, because as you probably know, there's a upgrade coming to circles, so where all the contracts are upgraded to version 2, which will introduce a lot of new functionality to circles. And in Metri, we will make sure that Circle has as well a very prominent place within the app, and it's the most natural way for Circles users to actually interact with their Circles account and their social graph. So upgrading your account to the version 2 will be a very smooth migration within the Metri app, and you'll obviously be able to onboard in Metri to V2 directly if you don't have an account. And we'll also add on the version 2 functionality that's part of Circus V2 into Metri to have it supported there natively. So that will be worked on by the team quite a bit. And also wanted to mention CowSwap. So really using as much of the Gnosis ecosystem here, but we're working on adding CowSwap to Metri so that it's integrated natively into the UI, and you can access all the benefits with CowSwap directly from Metri. So make it a really easy user experience, and adding more functionality to Metri that we know is requested and asked for. So it's on the wish list for sure. So that's a bit about what's coming up with Metri. So yeah, quite a bit of exciting things. I'll keep you posted on more developments in future calls as well. Thanks, John.
Thank you, Daniel. And yeah, between the Gnosis Pay update and the Metri update, exciting stuff going on. Awesome to see all of the Gnosis products being bundled together and for those roadmaps to become more unified. Moving along, we have an update from the CowDAO. And we have Alex on the call. Hello, Alex.
I guess I need to update my background for the brand. So yeah, thank you. Great to hear from the Metri folks that the Gnosis ecosystem is strengthening the lines even further, and awesome that they picked the best solution for swapping, which is CowSwap, Cow Protocol. And from the Cow Protocol update, actually, there's been one major update. Well, two, but like one is way bigger than the other. But first, I want to highlight what Karpatki and here El Pago Cocina actually highlight, which is also related to Gnosis Chain. And this is the fact that until Gnosis Chain and Karpatki designed this specific incentive program for rewarding the CowSwap solvers for participating on the solver competition that aims to give the users the best price improvements and the best deal across Gnosis chains, you didn't see much of the integrations that kind of CowSwap promises. But since the reward program started, you can actually see that the incentives have resulted in measurably better prices and more competitive quotes for the users, which in the end means better outcomes for their swaps and more tokens on their wallet when they swap. And then the other major update from the protocol side is that we actually launched CowAMM as of 2 weeks ago on August 8th. And CowAMM is the first MEV protection AMM to be live on Ethereum. Even though technically it was already launched on February, this was more of a proof of concept. And then this is kind of like the production version with the full-fledged interface on Balancer, where you can actually even create your own pool. You can also deposit directly on the pools. And what's best is that you can enjoy the protection from the LBR, which is this new form or term that has been coined for the liquidity providers that offer arbitrage. This is a form of MEV, which is called LBR. And the research shows that this is the major form of MEV. And actually, if we want to bring, blockchain to the masses and like kind of stop doing price discovery on centralized exchange, we need a secure way for liquidity providers to kind of like park their liquidity and offer kind of a pricing mechanism. And this is what KMM aims to do. So far, since launch, with the help of Karpathy and other adjacent projects, more or less there's around $16 million of TVL blocked on KMM, which is slowly increasing with the BD efforts. And if you're very interested on hearing both teams, Balancer and CowSwap, speak about KMM, you can actually go on the tweet here on the bottom left side, and you could access directly the Twitter space that we held explaining everything about KMM. And then on the next slide. And then, from the DAO point of view, the updates is that actually so far since the beginning of February, the DAO has been amassing ETH from the different revenue sources that they has, which mainly are Cup Protocol, Meth Blocker, and the widget. And those three combined have yielded more than 1,000 ETH thus far, making Cup Protocol, CowDAO one of the few revenue generating DAOs currently in the space. And this is from the help of, as you see, like the Cup Protocol, which you can actually revisit the highlights of what CowDAO or Cup Protocol actually did on July. And then partly also from the success of Meth Blocker, which is the #1 MEV protection RPC, which in there you have the numbers that did on July. And also wanted to take a chance of just showing another interview that Cow Protocol, Felix RuPaul just had with Jesse Eckel, and it would be highly recommended to listen, because in there you can clearly hear and understand kind of why Cow Protocol or CowDAO exists and what's its purpose. And the purpose is kind of clear, right? It's like the main goal is to be the backbone of this future tokenized economy that is going to happen on Ethereum, and Cow Protocol aims to be there. And then from the governance, this is the last thing, I promise I shut up finally. From the governance side of things, the last three proposals that we've had, one was extending the revenue model testing period for Cow Protocol. So basically the idea is that the development team is testing different fee models to see which one is sustainable, doesn't affect the users, but while still able to, make profits for the protocol. The other one, CIP50, is to establishing a legal defense reserve. This is, of course, by no means nothing to do with receiving Wells notice or any legal stuff. It's more kind of anticipating, or more than anticipating, it's more, we might as well be ready, because depending on who you land or who gets the word, right, especially from the US, you never know how the regulators can come after you. So this is more preventive than kind of like after. And then the last one is a market maker agreement with Wintermute to do a cow liquidity provisioning partnership that it ends tomorrow. So if you actually have cow tokens, I would recommend you to vote. And this is my update.
Thank you, Alex. CowDAO is always pushing the envelope and always has a lot of exciting updates. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And next up, we have, there's a lot of people on the call today, so it takes a second to manage the call here. I'm going to bring Evan and Peter up to the stage from the Gnosis AI team. Gnosis AI is a new project that's been incubated by Gnosis, and we recently published a blog post, or the Gnosis AI team did. I'm going to share it in the chat here, which will show up on our YouTube live stream. Gnosis AI is currently focused on agent-to-agent payments and prediction markets, which is very exciting if you've been a a long-time or long-standing community member of Gnosis. If you remember, Gnosis first set out to make a decentralized prediction market platform, and that project was put on the back burner because Gnosis then needed to really pivot and make the tools necessary to build that decentralized prediction market platform, because at the time those tools were not available. And now with the advent of AI and LLMs, there's a return focus on prediction markets. So I'm sure the team will talk more about that. So I'll hand it over to Peter. And thanks for making the time, Peter.
Thank you, John. No problem. And I would share my screen if that's okay, because I will have some demos as well. I should be sharing. Can you see?
I can see it. Great.
Perfect. Thank you. Then I will start. Thanks for having us here today. So it is the first time we are here. So I will start with some quick team introduction and some basics that we are working with. So if you were at some of our previous presentations at some conferences, perhaps you will know already about this, but right after that, some new stuff that we have been just working on will come. So no worries about that. And actually some of the stuff that wasn't presented anywhere yet, and some demos as well. So let's get to it. In the team, in the Gnosis AI team, there are currently 3 of us. So it's me, Eva, and Gabriel. They should be both on the call. So if I need some help with questions, hopefully they will help me. And as John already said, we have a few use cases that we are focusing on in Gnosis, where the main one are prediction markets. So on the next slide, I will introduce prediction markets, how they work, and what they are good for. But at the same time, it's not about prediction markets. So the goal is to have agents betting there. So to help those prediction markets to be great again with the help of agents. And officially, we are all LLM engineers. So most of the times, these agents will be LLM based. But if there is a fit for another technology, just a smart algorithm, some equation, anything, then we can just stay away from LLM and use that. But for the decision making and stuff like that, usually LLM is the way to go. And also, last but not least, we also provide some AI support for the company. So if some other teams think they have some use case for agents, or perhaps just some machine learning tool to help with some of their work, then we are here for them. But right now, it's mostly prediction markets and agents. So for the prediction markets, this platform is currently live. So if you want, you can go to presagio.pages.dev as I speak. It's currently a development version of Omen. So the old Omen platform is currently not available, but this Presagio is like a Omen 2.0 and is working on the very same contract. So all the prediction markets that were available on Omen are now on Presagio and vice versa. And instead of looking into the slide, I think we can go directly into the Presagio itself, and I can explain prediction markets here. So if you open the Presagio, you will be introduced with a lot of questions, and they are in some categories. And here, each question is a prediction market. So I think we can open one of them. For example, this one. It was created by an agent, and it also generated some image for it. So that's a nice one. And how this works is that by definition, prediction market should be about some future event. So from the question, it should be clear what should or shouldn't happen and when it should happen. So So when this prediction market will be closed, people or agents should be able to resolve this according the true outcome in the world. Sometimes it can happen that the question was invalid, or that the outcomes that was available for the given question didn't really meet the criteria, and in that case it can be resolved as invalid, and people and agents will get their money back. But usually, most of the time, the questions are pretty clear, and each question is paired with a set of outcomes that can happen. If you go to Presagio right now, then you will notice that all of these prediction markets are a yes or no question. So usually it's just yes or no. This is just to make life easier for all agents. But the contract itself from Omen supports various types of questions. It can be categorical, it can be multiple outcome, it can be some numerical, just to make it easier for agents. Right now it's yes and no, but it's not such a big problem because almost everything can be rephrased into a yes or no question. And perhaps I didn't choose the this one because we can see that this one is 50-50, so it means that nobody bet there yet. So I can open something else, for example, this one. And here, if we go to the history, we will see that some wallets, and in this case, they are marked by AI tag, placed a bet on this prediction market. And when either people or agents place a bet, so that means they will buy a yes or no outcome tokens, they will move the probability of this prediction market. So how it works is that the probability of yes tokens, for example, is equals to the price of the yes tokens. So if I think I know the answer, I can go there and buy either yes or no tokens. And as you can see, I will receive more tokens that I'm buying from the collateral token. And so if I am right, I have potential to do some profit. So after this market is resolved, and let's say it was no, I would receive this amount of XDAI back. And so I made some profit. And of course, it works in the other way as well. If I would be wrong, then I lose them. And that's actually the reason why prediction markets should motivate people and agents to really tell the truth, because if you will be willingly lying, that means that you are giving your money to people or agents that are telling the truth. So unless you are super rich and just want to be malicious on such platform, then there is this motivation to tell the truth and to tell or to bet on the outcome based to your knowledge or based to your internet research, as well, yeah, as we will see. And there's also some other options from this Presagio guys. So this wasn't available on the old Omen website, but if you go to the news, you will also receive some set of internet searchers that you can use for some first research of yours to place some educated bet, and also some other information. So that's how they work. But the question perhaps is like, okay, what would be how we will use them, or what is this good for? So I took from the Gnosis white paper a few use cases, but if you want to know about more of them, just go to the white paper and there are some more. But let's take a look at those. So the first one, perhaps the most prominent, is to gather some information, something that cannot be just easily Googled, but something that perhaps some other people or agents have some internal knowledge about that you don't. So in this example, the question is, will corporation I acquire corporation B within some set time frame, so within the time when the market will be closed. And the theory is that if you put enough of liquidity into this market, then both people and agents will be motivated to do some research and to bet there, and perhaps not just do some research, but also some internal people from these corporations could have some internal knowledge that is not available on the internet, and they can bet the outcomes for by the outcome tokens for the given outcome they believe is the right or wrong, and like that they can help you do some decisions about whatever you need to do the decision for. Then the second use case is kind of a governance. So this could be used, for example, in DAOs, where you can create multiple prediction markets. And these prediction markets will be about something you should or shouldn't do. And they will be somehow linked into the real world. So in this example, it's what will our Q4 revenue be if we fire our CEO versus what it will be if we don't fire our CEO. And then if we assume that enough of people voted there with the best intentions in their mind, because they are motivated by not losing their money, then the prediction maker should actually execute that strategy that was proposed in the winning prediction market. And after the Q4 ends, the revenue will be checked. And if people were right, they will give the money and they profit. And if those that were wrong or perhaps malicious because they want to do some harm to the CEO, they will lose it. And that's again the motivation for them to be just truthful and to not be malicious against some CEO because they don't like him or her or something. Then the third use case, sport betting. I guess that's clear. So you can have some prediction market asking which team will win, and people can bet there as usually. So we could also say that prediction markets are like a superset of sport betting or something, because sport betting is possible there. So I won't go into much detail there, but the fourth use case I choose is this like motivation for people to do something. So this is also described in the paper, and I thought it's quite interesting. So I can also share this link in the chat. And yesterday, I created this market that is asking, will Gnosis AI team receive at least 3 questions on their call today? And the idea behind such market is that this is actually pretty easy to influence. So if somebody has seen this market, or if you are seeing it right now and you have some X day, then you can go there, you can right away buy some yes tokens in whatever amount you want. And very easily at the end of this talk, you can ask 3 questions by yourself, and there is your profit. So those prediction markets can be used as a platform to motivate people to do something. So if I would be some listener, I could buy the yes tokens, ask the questions, be profitable. Or on the other hand, as someone like related to Gnosis, I can go the other way around and I can buy the no tokens. Because right now, if we go to the history, then we can see that most of the agents, except for this one, are buying, and this one, are buying yes tokens. And so that means they move the probability of yes up. And so the price for the yes token is higher than the no token. So what someone from Gnosis could do is that they will buy the no tokens in some amount. And this will, of course, move the probability of yes down. And then people should be even more motivated to go there and bet on yes, because there is even bigger profit. Even bigger profit possible for the same quarter token as in the beginning. So let's see if this happened. Not yet. I guess it needs some refresh, but anyway, that is the idea. So if you want go there and bet there, if you have some X days. Now that was that was about the prediction market. And so let's move into the agents. So what is an agent for us? Is that it's some entity that is doing actions in some environment. So that's pretty vague definition. But for what this means, that we have some script that is placing bets on prediction markets. And optionally, this agent can also update his state and his betting function or whatever based on the reward and state he's getting from the environment. So this is again a nice use case for prediction markets, because each time the agent will place a bet, then after some time, they will for sure receive a reward. So they will receive either some profit if it was correct, or they will lose money if they were incorrect. So theoretically, this agent can update its state or his betting function, his betting strategy, whatever it's using to be better in the future. But it's just optional. We consider the agent to be even some entity that is just taking actions in environment. And as I was talking in the beginning, for us, most of the time, those agents are some kind of LLM. LLM prompted in some way with some tools that allows it to usually at least search on the internet and then do some basic research report out of the results on internet, and then place an educated bet on the given prediction market, as we will see. So I will have some examples for this. But before that, usually this LLM part that I was describing in this slide is the interesting one. So it's interesting to prompt LLM to go over the internet, create some reports, do some predictions, predict future, and make money for sure. But there is a lot of boilerplate code around this for each agent. So we created this framework that can help you to create agents for yourself in some fast and reliable way. Because for example, each agent needs to fetch the markets in the beginning. It needs to decide if the market is something reasonable to put a prediction on. It needs to calculate the bet amount in this place, and then after the market is closed, it needs to manually redeem its winning, etc., etc. So there is a lot of boilerplate code before placing a bet and after placing a bet, and that's why we created this framework that is open source on GitHub. And the most basic or most simple example from it is probably this coin flip agent, where all you need to do to create an agent that is placing bet is to subclass or deployable trade agent class and implement this answer binary market method. So in this method, you will receive the market. So the market contains data as question, current probability, and some other stuff. And you need to only implement the logic behind placing a bet. So in this case, it's the most simple one, just randomly choosing between yes or no. So that's not great, but it's a good example. And then all you need to do is just create the agent and execute the run method, and it will go, it will place the bets, it will redeem the winnings, and do everything around these that's necessary. And as you can see in this example, it also accepts this market type argument because it's supposed to be a market agnostic. So we have support for multiple markets, but of course the Omen is the biggest priority for us. So that's where the most of the logic and functionality lies. But we also have support for others, as we will see later in the prediction. But if you want to create an agent for yourself, this is the way to go. Now, that repository was about how to implement your own agents from scratch. Or not from scratch, but at least the decision-making logic from scratch. But then we have this second repository. Now it's called only Prediction Market Agent. Again, it's open source as everything that we are doing. And there we will find probably around 10 different agent implementations that are actually right now betting on the Omen prediction market platform. And there is also this public playground that's available for everyone. It's implemented in the repository. So if you create your own agent, or if you want to take our agent and just somehow modify it and play with it, then this is a good script to do it. It's also online, so you can play with it right now if you want. How it works is that it's a streaming demo where you can see we support multiple different market platforms. So let's go with Omen. And then we can choose some specific question that is available on the platform or provide our own. We can see that this one is from the platform, and we see also current probability and link to it. We can quickly check it out. There should be, there are many bets from many agents, and one of those agents for sure will be one of those. So those are all the agents implemented in this repository. We can just select some and then wait a little for it to make all the stuff it needs to do, and came up with the final prediction. So this usually takes a while because there is a lot of LLM calls and a lot of processing. So it can take a minute or so, but that's fine. In the meantime, I can show you this free access code. So if you just go to this website, it will ask you for a login or an access code. So feel free to use this one. It's also in the presentation, and that will give you free access to all of these calls. It's just because when the Stalemate was without this authentication, there was some bots playing with it, etc., and that wasn't very good. So now it's behind a wall, but that should be fine. So we see that the agent is already doing something. So every agent has some internal logic about how to do predictions. So it's not same for everyone, but in this case, we can examine at least this one, and it works. Is that given the question, it will generate the subqueries. So all the subqueries that it can search for on internet to get relevant information. But because there is so much of them, it will also re-rank them and choose just 4 that it thinks are the most relevant for the given market. Then of course get all the articles from these queries, scrap them, do some similarity search in the articles to again extract only the most relevant information. So it will do that, and somewhere in the end, it will prepare a report like this. So this is LLM generated report based on all of these websites that is fed once again into the LLM to give the final decision that it would bet around 0.75 x day on false, because it thinks the probability is only 45% with some, let's say, reasonable confidence, and that's it. So this is just a showcase, so it didn't actually place the bet, but this very same agent is running on our infrastructure and placing bets every 2 hours or so. So this is, I think, super nice if you want to create agents from scratch, because you can examine what it's doing question by question and really get some quality data out of it. But then the problem is that if you deploy an agent or 10 of them like we do, it's hard to keep track of how they are performing and how to improve them. So that's why recently we implemented a link fuse integration into the PMAT. So if you use PMAT to create your agents, then by default, you can enable the link fuse integration, and by default, a lot of things will be tracked in link fuse. And before I go in detail around this one, I can perhaps show it like this, where you can see that all of these process markets is some agent. We can also check the names. So it's different agents placing bets every 2 hours, and we have already ton of data. So how this looks like for some concrete one, is that the deployable agent class have this process market method that will accept the market itself, so the question linked to Presagio, current probability, and whatever around it, and it will give some output. So if you need to, well, find the prediction in more detail for some prediction market, because you are not sure that the agent is functioning correctly, this is a place to go to. And if you see that perhaps this PS is too high or something, then you can, on the right side, dive into more details. So there is this answer binary market, and if we open it, we can see that this is the agent that I was just showcasing in the Streamlit demo, and it's doing some research. And again, we can go even deeper. This research consists of some generate subqueries, as we see, and then re-rank them and then prepare the report. Here on this prepare report level, we will see again inputs and the output of the report itself. And if you don't like it for some reason, we think it should be different or that it can be better or something, perhaps you would like to play with the prompt to generate a different kind of report. If you see some mistakes that could be fixed, then you can go again deeper, and somewhere you will see this chat OpenAI generation, where you can actually play with the prompt to modify it, generate it again, or you can add it to the data set and later fine-tune on it, or perhaps test out some bad amount calculation algorithms or whatever you want to improve. And so everything is tracked like this in LangFuse. So again, plan how to use this for the future is that we will inspect those agents and improve them, and perhaps also do some fine-tuning if it makes sense. And then it's just not only about like manually scrolling there, but you are also able to filter by like various metadata about the market. So for example, I can do the filter by market question, and it needs to contain something about Gnosis, let's say. And then we can, oops, it didn't work for some reason. Once more, sorry. Metadata, market question contains Gnosis. Yeah, this seems about right. So we can see that some of the agents refused to answer it. We could debug that. Or we can open something that actually did answer the question. So for example, this one, what is it? It's only the coin flip agent that we saw in the example, so perhaps not so interesting. But you can see that like this, you can expect on the prediction market level details about the predictions and then do some improvements to your agents. So that's also in the PMAT. And now let's take a look at like the little different agent, because up until this point, all the agents were somehow hard-coded to do this. So the PMAT framework I was showing is just a Python code that will do what we programmed into it, and that's totally fine for these trading agents, because that's actually benefitable for them. And usually you want to improve the prediction making part and not the stuff around. But we are also experimenting with this, like another kind of agent, and we call it like a general agent or perhaps new life agent or something like that. And the idea is that instead of hard coding those LLMs into doing one thing, we just give some very general prompt, and I will show you what is the prompt, and then let it evolve so the agent can update its system prompt or normal prompts, depends on the use case, and actually evolve in the behavior of what it's doing. So it doesn't need to be trader at all in the end. Then the second step is that instead of having agent with the OpenAI API keys or Anthropic or anything else, as we had with the trader agent, this agent will be able or is able to use a marketplace of tools that's payable by crypto. So instead of having the API keys in different Web2 services, you will need only XDAI or some other crypto and pay for those services directly on blockchain, and they will do the calls to the Web2, or perhaps they will do some internal LLM by themselves and return you the responses. So in the end, all the agent will need to operate will be XDAI. And lastly, of course, it would be super nice if the agent wouldn't be a cron job on GCP, but run on chain or something at some point. But perhaps that will be in the future. Anyway, right now, the goal of this agent, of this general agent, is to just keep positive crypto balance so that he can operate because he needs to well, basically pay for its living. How this works in the practice, we again have a second demo for this. It's also implemented in that PMA repository I was showing before. Let's take a look at some funny agents. For example, this one, General Agent 1. We just need a few seconds for it to load. Usually it's a bit faster, but that's okay. So we can see that this agent started like a month ago or so. We gave him 10 XDAI, and right now he has only 8, so not great. Other general agents are actually profitable, but not this one, because this one is quite funny that in the beginning, you can see that here are the agent logs. So each of these drop downs is one run of the agent at Sunday. And this agent is starting with only this prompt. So the prompt is act as autonomous agent. We go to learn, survive, and evolve. Afterwards, only thing in the prompt is this a list of various functions that came from the marketplace or the simulated marketplace at the moment, but from the real marketplace in the near future, hopefully. Then how is this agent behaving? You can see that it will call learn about learning function from marketplace. And this function will return him, well, something that it can use the learning function, and it needs to update his prompt to not forget it about in the future, etc. So the agent will go and it will get my current system prompt. So he will receive the system prompt it has. And here is the funny thing that this agent in the beginning was stuck in a loop. So it was just learn about learning, get system prompt about learning, etc., etc. So this sometimes happens. There is a lot of randomness in those agents. But I can scroll down, and there is this tool usage per session, where you can see that like all the functions that are available in the marketplace and how many times they were called in a given session. So the row is a function, and column is a session. And indeed, you can see that in the beginning it was somehow stuck, and it just was calling about learning. But then it get out of this bad distribution, and it actually start learning something. And by a week or so, and nowadays it's mostly calling this get markets, get probability, and some other functions about placing the bet. Because right now this general agent, the only way for him to earn money is on prediction market, so that's why it evolves in this way. But in the future, when there are more tools in the marketplace, it can do some other stuff, as I will have in the presentation shortly. And perhaps I can show some different agent as well, where the learning took a better place in the beginning. let's try it, and if not, I will just continue in the presentation. Yeah, you can see that this one is a better one. It's actually quite profitable already. It again started with this universal prompt, and let's check it out. For example, here, reasoning, I need to update my system prompt with the new knowledge I have acquired about learning and keep track of this learning session to avoid repetition in the future. So that's a good one. Then he called update my system prompt with whatever he learned, and that's how it continues. So if you want, you can go there and check them out, perhaps do some modification and run them by yourself as well. But this can be more than just prediction markets. So right now that's the primary goal, but there are different use cases as well. So one of such use cases is, for example, a task agent. So perhaps sometimes in the future, people could submit tasks to those general agents, and they would receive some reward for completing them. So this is once again some Streamlit demo that we have. It's publicly available, and the source code is in the repository, so you can modify it if you want in some way. And let's check if it will load. Great, it loads. So we can here play with different LLM providers, including the open source Llama. And instead of being just born, so this is the general prompt that we saw before, or the trading agent, we can try a task agent. And if we run such agent for 10 iterations, then you can see that he is prompt to get tasks. And he will call a get task function, and he will see that what tasks are available for him and the promised X day for completing these tasks. So he can reason about selecting one of them and completing it, sending me a Telegram message about completion, and then receive the reward. But that's just an idea, so we will see if it goes somewhere. Then the AO agent, for example, so it could be that those agents will governate some proposals, and that you could delegate your governance tokens to an agent that fits your strategy. So you will be able to see a prompt of such agent and what it wants to achieve, even in the given DAO. And if you agree with that, you can give him his tokens in order to vote in your name, and then you don't have to. Or something like a co-swap agent, where the agent could trade his crypto for some other crypto with higher yield, or perhaps speculate about some price moving into the future or whatever. So there are many ways he can earn to keep living, but we will see which one sticks. Hopefully multiple of them. Then for the very last slide, where to find us. So John already mentioned this blog post, and then there is just a list of all the links I mentioned. So the tooling library, the implementation of agents, the demo for observing the general agents, playground for playing with the trading agents, or playground for playing with the general agent, or also this Dune dashboard for Omen, where if you deploy your agent and you want, you can send us your public key, and then you can track your performance against other agents. So there is a lot of stuff in this dashboard. I won't go over it, but as a good example is this top 10 by accuracy dashboard, where we can see how those agents that we saw in that Streamlit demo are competing against each other, where some of them are pretty bad, but other ones are pretty good. So there is some room for improvement, but it's getting somewhere. And that's for my side, John. So if there are any questions or anything,
Awesome.
we can get to it.
Thank you so much, Peter. And I have tons of questions, really exciting stuff. But I want to grab some questions from the community. one question is, do they still use Claros? So that's in reference to Omen, I believe. Yeah, are your agents using Claros, or are the prediction markets using Claros?
Yeah, that's right. So when the market is created, there is option to use something different. By default, our markets are created with Claros as arbitrator.
Cool. Excuse me. And can users add liquidity to a prediction?
Yes, not to prediction, but when the market is created, even some existing market, you can add liquidity by yourself. But honestly, I don't know why would you do that for some market that's not yours. Maybe there is a reason I don't know about, but yeah, it's possible.
Okay, and I guess that leads in kind of into my question. But first, I just want to say, like, in my understanding, liquidity was one of the main issues with prediction markets in the first stage or the first iteration of when Gnosis was trying to build Omen. People weren't necessarily incentivized to participate in those prediction markets because there just wasn't enough of a financial incentive, and the liquidity was poor. But now with agents who can participate in these markets, liquidity is not really an issue because it can be low, and agents can participate simultaneously in a number of markets, so they can make money across various markets or various bets. Is that a fair summary? Is that one of the reasons why prediction markets have now become more viable with the advent of AI agents?
Yeah, that's a very good point that I forgot to mention where I introduced prediction markets. So that's totally right. If you open some demo, somewhere at the bottom, there maybe will be, okay, not for this agent, but sometimes we report the price for that prediction. And for sure, that price is much lower than, or should be lower than people doing the research. So for that reason, liquidity on the market can be lower, and many agents can just run in a loop all day doing the research and predicting the outcomes.
And we talked about Claros, but okay, so who is going to be the arbiter of truth about the outcome of an event? We're on this community call, and there has already been 3 questions, but who's going to report to the agents or that prediction that there has been 3 questions asked?
Yeah, that's a great point. So when there is some market created, in this case, I created this market manually, so I will be the one that will resolve it. And what I can do is go here into info, go into reality. Just give it a few seconds to load. This question will be opened in 5 hours. And then whether it was true or not, I will give the answer as yes or no. Now, you can say that, okay, but what if I will lie because I don't want to lose my money? So in that case, what happens is that after I submit the answer, there is a 24-hour period where anyone can go there and challenge my answer. So if I lie and say that no, there wasn't the questions, but yeah, they were, then you can go there and submit the correct answer. After you do that, there will be again a 24-hour period where I or someone else can challenge it again. But the idea is that, okay, we can do this forever, but in practice, we can't, because each time you challenge my answer or I challenge yours, you need to double the bond. So if I open okay, this is some dummy question, but that doesn't matter. I want to answer. You can see that I need to bond my X day for this answer. And when you challenge it, you need to double this bond. And when this bond is high enough, so let's say that 2 weeks passed, this bond is 2000 X day, and we still don't have the real answer, that's when the Claros can came in as the arbitrator and do the final decision on truth. But the idea is that because there is this bond, then truth, like the true answer will win. Yeah, that's the real answer, because if we are lying, we will lose the money. And actually, multiple people can join together. So it's like 10 people can go there and bond 5x day, and they will outvote my lies. So there is this process how people can do it together.
And if an agent is the one to initiate a prediction or set up that market, can an agent resolve it as well?
Yeah, they are resolving it. So they are resolving markets they create, but it works in the same way. So agent will resolve it on reality, and people can came in and correct him if it's wrong.
Super cool. Let's see if we have any more questions from the community here. We're kind of running over time. So yeah, I just want to say that this is incredible stuff and really interesting. We're seemingly asking or the agents are asking some somewhat mundane questions. I mean, who's going to win the U.S. election in 2024 in the fall? Not so mundane. I mean, there's lots of polls out there, so it's not a mystery as to kind of how tight the election is. But I mention it just because the implications of prediction markets are really interesting. And in a world of increasing complexity, being able to crowdsource knowledge, especially with agents who are trained on large language models or huge data sets, prediction markets quickly become very valuable, where we can gain some insight over a very uncertain future. So I think the implications are huge. I think it's really cool stuff. Thank you so much, Peter, for making the time. And I shared all the links that Peter had in the presentation in the chat. So please check those out. Everything is open source. You can play around with it. You can fork it. You can run an agent. So please play around and come visit us in the Gnosis Chain Discord. I want to just briefly share my screen over here with some important info. Great. So yeah, please join us on our Discord, and here are the links to our docs and our website and the forum. Actually, you can visit Gnosis.io. The website's not up there, but thank you so much, everyone, for making the time for the August community call. We will be back here in the second week of September for another community call. So thank you so much. We'll see you on chain. We'll see you in the Gnosis Chain Discord. Take care, everyone. Have a great few weweeks. Ciao.
Thanks for having us. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Peter.